My name is Alexandra Rivera, and my sister Emily has always been the successful one. VP of Marketing at TechBridge Solutions. Corner office. Company car. Annual bonuses that could buy a house. She was the family success story and she never let me forget it. Me. According to Emily, I was playing entrepreneur. Easter dinner at mom's house should have been pleasant. Ham. Potatoes. The good china. 32 family members gathered around tables that spilled from the dining room into the living room. Emily arrived late as always, making an entrance in her designer suit even though it was a Sunday. Sorry. Conference call with Singapore ran long. Everyone nodded appreciatively. Of course Emily was on calls with Singapore. Emily was important. I was already seated wearing jeans and a sweater picking at my salad. Alex. Emily spotted me and her smile turned pitying. Still doing that tech thing? AI development, I said simply. Right. Your little startup. She sat down across from me, wine glass already in hand. How's that going? Still working from your apartment? I have an office now. Oh, how nice. Like a WeWork situation. Something like that. Mom jumped in, ever the peacemaker. Alex has been working so hard. We're very proud. Emily's laugh was light, dismissive. Mom, it's been 5 years? At some point, playing entrepreneur becomes just embarrassing. The word hung in the air. Embarrassing. My cousin Jordan, who worked for Emily at TechBridge, chimed in. Em's right. The startup failure rate is like 90%. Alex, you should really consider applying to real companies. I could get you an interview at TechBridge. Maybe customer support? Entry level. That's generous of you, I said evenly. Uncle Martin joined the conversation. Alex, honey, your sister has built a real career. Maybe it's time to follow her example. Stability. Benefits. A 401k. Emily nodded sagely. I worry about you, Alex. No savings. No health insurance. What happens when this little venture fails? It won't fail. That's what they all say. Emily sipped her wine. Look, I get it. The entrepreneur fantasy is appealing. But most people aren't cut out for it. There's no shame in getting a regular job. Dad spoke up from the head of the table. Emily has a point, Alexandra. You're 32 years old. Time to think about your future seriously. My Aunt Carol nodded. My friend's daughter tried the startup thing. 3 years, nothing to show for it. Now she works at Costco. Not that there's anything wrong with Costco, but Alex could do better, Emily finished. If she just stopped playing pretend and joined the real world. I set down my fork. I appreciate everyone's concern. Do you though? Emily leaned forward. Because honestly, it's getting hard to watch. Every family gathering, everyone asks me how my brilliant little sister is doing, and what do I say? Oh, she's still playing with computers in her apartment? Jordan laughed. Stop. You're killing her. I'm being honest. Someone has to be. Emily's voice softened into what she probably thought was kindness. Alex, I love you. We all do. But this entrepreneurship thing, it's time to let it go. Apply to TechBridge. I'll put in a good word. You could start next month. I'll think about it, I lied. Please do. Before you waste any more years on this hobby. I excused myself early, claiming a headache. No one seemed surprised. As I left, I heard Emily telling Mom, she'll come around eventually. Reality always wins. What Emily didn't know, what I'd carefully kept from my entire family, was that I wasn't playing entrepreneur. I was running NeuralEdge AI, one of the fastest growing artificial intelligence companies in the Pacific Northwest. It started 6 years ago when I was working as a data scientist at a logistics company. I watched them manually route thousands of shipments daily, making mistakes that cost millions. I knew AI could optimize it. I built a prototype in 3 months. They rejected it. Too experimental, they said. So I quit and built it myself. I maxed out 4 credit cards. I lived on ramen and slept 4 hours a night. I taught myself advanced machine learning, neural networks, natural language processing. I took every course I could find from Stanford, MIT, Berkeley, all online, all while my family thought I was unemployed. The first client was a small regional delivery company. They paid me $8,000 for a routing optimization system. It increased their efficiency by 34%. They told another company. Then another. Within 18 months, I had 37 clients and $2.1 million in revenue. I hired my first employee, Marcus, a brilliant engineer I'd met at a hackathon. Then 3 more. Then 12. My family never asked for details. Emily was too busy being successful. Mom and Dad were too busy being proud of Emily. Everyone else just assumed I was struggling. I let them believe it. By year 3, Neural Edge had 60 employees and $15 million in revenue. We developed proprietary AI systems for supply chain optimization, predictive maintenance, and demand forecasting. Microsoft Azure featured us as a case study. AWS invited us to speak at their summit. Emily called that week. "Hey, I saw some AI company mentioned in TechCrunch. The name sounded like something you'd come up with. Neural Edge? Any relation?" "Oh, I consulted for them briefly." Well, they're probably going nowhere. Most of these AI startups are just hype." I said nothing. By year 4, we hit $47 million in revenue. Forbes called me for their 30 under 30 list. I declined. Fortune reached out. I declined. I wasn't ready. Last Thanksgiving, Emily gave a toast. "I'm grateful for my incredible team at TechBridge for my career, and for being able to set a good example for my little sister, who's still figuring things out." Everyone raised their glasses. I smiled and drank my wine. By year 5, Neural Edge had 340 employees across 3 offices. Our annual revenue hit $89 million. My personal net worth crossed $180 million. We'd secured partnerships with 3 Fortune 500 companies. One of them was TechBridge Solutions. Emily's company had signed a $12 million contract with Neural Edge to implement our AI systems across their marketing automation platform. The contract was signed by Emily's CEO and our VP of Partnerships. Emily's team would be using our technology daily. He had no idea I owned the company. The partnership announcement came in March. Emily called me excited. "Alex, you'll appreciate this. TechBridge just partnered with this amazing AI company, Neural Edge. They're revolutionizing our entire marketing tech stack." "That's great, Em." "I know, right? I'm leading the implementation team. This could be huge for my career. The CEO is speaking at our annual conference in July." My heart skipped. "The CEO is speaking?" "Yeah, keynote address. I'm so excited to hear from them. Real entrepreneurs, you know? Not like..." She stopped. "Anyway, it's going to be incredible." I smiled into the phone. "I'm sure it will be." April through June passed in a blur. My team at Neural Edge worked around the clock preparing for our integration with TechBridge. Emily sent me weekly updates about the amazing AI company we'd partnered with, completely oblivious. "Their technology is insane, Alex. I wish you could understand this stuff. It's so complex." "I'm sure it is. The CEO is a woman too. That's so inspiring. Probably had to work twice as hard to prove herself in tech." "Probably. Not like your little coding hobby. This is real AI. Real innovation." Jordan mentioned it at a family barbecue in May. "Alex, you should come to our conference in July. Might inspire you to see what real tech success looks like." "Maybe I will." Emily overheard. "Oh, Alex, no offense, but you wouldn't understand most of the sessions. It's pretty high-level stuff. Enterprise AI, machine learning pipelines, neural networks. I might surprise you." She laughed. "You're sweet. But trust me, this isn't beginner-friendly content." June 15th, TechBridge's conference coordinator called my office. "Ms. Rivera, we're finalizing details for your keynote. Do you have any specific requirements?" "Standard setup is fine. Podium, clicker, confidence monitor." "Perfect. And we'll have your company bio in the program. Should we mention the partnership with TechBridge specifically?" "Absolutely. Make sure it's prominent." "Will do. Oh, and just so you know, our VP of Marketing, Emily Rivera, is your point person for the day. She'll meet you backstage." I paused. "Emily Rivera is my point person?" "Yes, ma'am. She's been raving about Neural Edge for months. Very excited to meet you." "I'm excited to meet her too." I hung up and sat in silence for a moment. Then I called Marcus, my CTO. "Marcus, I need you to keep something confidential." "Always, boss." "My sister Emily works at TechBridge. She's the VP of Marketing." "Wait, your sister who thinks you're unemployed?" "The same one who called me embarrassing at Easter." "Oh, this is going to be good." She has no idea I'm the CEO. She thinks I'm still playing entrepreneur. Marcus laughed so hard he had to mute himself. When he came back, he was still chuckling. Boss, this is the best thing I've heard all year. What are you going to do? I'm going to give the keynote speech exactly as planned. She's going to lose her mind. I know. July 18th arrived hot and clear. TechBridge's annual conference was held at the Seattle Convention Center. 3,000 attendees. Vendors. Breakout sessions. The works. I arrived early through the VIP entrance, accompanied by Marcus and our VP of Partnerships, Linda. The conference coordinator, Beth, met us in the hallway. Ms. Rivera. So wonderful to finally meet you in person. Your team has been incredible to work with. Thank you. Everything looks fantastic. We have you in the green room. Emily Rivera will be here shortly to go over final details. My phone buzzed. A text from Emily in the family group chat. Big day. Keynote speaker arrives in an hour. So nervous and excited. Mom responded, so proud of you, sweetie. Dad, our girl running the show. I pocketed my phone. 10 minutes later, Emily walked into the green room. She was in full power mode. Navy suit. Heels. Tablet in hand. She didn't even look up at first. Ms. Rivera? I'm Emily Rivera, VP of Marketing. I'll be your liaison for. She looked up. Our eyes met. All the color drained from her face. Alex. Hi, Emily. What are you? Why are you? She looked at Beth. There's been a mistake. This is my sister. The keynote speaker is. Beth smiled, confused. This is Alexandra Rivera, CEO of Neural Edge AI. Your keynote speaker. Emily's tablet slipped from her hands. It clattered on the floor. That's not possible. I picked up her tablet and handed it back to her. I think we should go over the schedule. I have 45 minutes for the keynote, correct? Alex, what the fuck is happening right now? Beth excused herself quickly. I'll give you a moment. Emily stared at me. You're the CEO of Neural Edge, the company we just paid $12 million to partner with. I am. But you said you were just consulting for them. You said, she stopped. You lied. You never asked. You just assumed I was failing. Because you let me think that. You've been living in that tiny apartment, driving that shitty Honda. I like that apartment. And I like my Honda. Alex, you own a company worth. She pulled out her phone, frantically typing. Forbes estimated Neural Edge's valuation at $127 million. You're worth, oh my God. Approximately $180 million personally. Though it fluctuates with funding rounds. She sat down heavily. This isn't real. This is a dream. Or a prank. It's neither. Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you tell me? I sat down across from her. Because I wanted to see who you were when you thought I was nobody. Turns out, you're the kind of person who calls her sister's life's work embarrassing. Emily's face crumpled. Oh God. Easter. I called you embarrassing. You did. In front of the entire family. Alex, I didn't know. No, Emily. You didn't care to know. You never once asked what I was actually building. You never asked to see my work, meet my team, understand my vision. You just assumed I was failing because I didn't measure up to your definition of success. I was trying to help. No, you weren't. You were protecting your ego. As long as I looked like a failure, you got to be the successful one. The moment I become successful too, suddenly it's a problem. A knock on the door. Beth peeked in. Ms. Rivera, we need you for mic check in 5 minutes. I'll be right there. Emily stood up shakily. What happens now? Now I give my keynote speech. You sit in the audience, front row I believe, and you listen. Alex, please. Can we talk about this after? I need to explain. There's nothing to explain, Emily. You showed me exactly who you are. Now I'm showing you who I've always been. I walked past her to the door. Wait. Her voice cracked. Does the family know? Not yet. But they will after today. The keynote is being live-streamed. Oh God. I smiled. See you out there, sis. The auditorium was packed. 3,000 people. Every seat filled. The energy was electric. I stood backstage watching Emily take her seat in the front row. She looked pale. Jordan sat next to her, scrolling through his phone, oblivious. Beth gave me the signal. You're on in 30 seconds, Ms. Rivera. Marcus squeezed my shoulder. Go show them what you've built. The lights dimmed. A voice boomed through the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the CEO of Neuraledge AI, the visionary leader transforming how enterprises leverage artificial intelligence, Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree, and TechBridge strategic AI partner, Alexandra Rivera. The audience erupted in applause. I walked on stage. The spotlight hit me. 3,000 faces turned toward me, including Emily's. Her mouth was slightly open. Her hands frozen mid-clap. Jordan next to her suddenly sat up straighter, leaning forward, squinting. Wait, is that? Emily grabbed his arm. I reached the podium and smiled. Good morning. Before we dive into how Neuraledge is revolutionizing enterprise AI, I want to tell you a story about perception versus reality. The audience settled in. 6 years ago I had an idea. I was working as a data scientist watching companies struggle with manual processes that AI could automate. I built a prototype. My employer rejected it. So I quit my job and built it myself. Murmurs of appreciation. My family thought I was crazy. They told me to get a real job. Apply to established companies. Stop playing entrepreneur. I paused, letting that phrase land. One family member, someone I love very much, called my work embarrassing. Emily's face turned red. That person is sitting in the front row right now. 3,000 heads turned toward Emily. She looked like she wanted to disappear. But here's the thing about being underestimated, I continued, my voice strong. It gives you incredible freedom. When people think you're failing, they stop watching you. They stop questioning you. They stop interfering. And in that space, that quiet, unobserved space, you can build something extraordinary. The audience was silent, hanging on every word. 6 years later, Neuraledge AI has 340 employees. We serve 73 enterprise clients across 14 countries. Our AI systems process 2.3 billion data points daily. We've raised $89 million in funding and generate $127 million in annual revenue. Applause rippled through the room. But the most valuable thing I built wasn't the technology. It was the knowledge of who I am, independent of external validation. My family's doubt became my fuel. Their dismissal became my motivation. Their embarrassment became my strength. I looked directly at Emily. So to the person who called me embarrassing, thank you. You taught me that success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about building something meaningful regardless of who believes in you. The audience erupted in standing ovation. Emily sat frozen, tears streaming down her face. Jordan beside her had his phone out, frantically typing. Probably texting the family group chat. I spent the next 40 minutes presenting Neuraledge's AI architecture, our partnership with TechBridge, and our vision for the future of enterprise automation. The audience was engaged, asking brilliant questions, taking notes furiously. Emily didn't move the entire time. She just stared at me, her successful little sister, commanding a stage she could never have imagined me on. When I finished, the applause was deafening. Thank you all. I'll be at booth 47 if anyone wants to discuss partnerships. And to my family watching the live stream, I smiled directly at the camera. Hi Mom. Hi Dad. Surprise. Backstage my phone exploded. 73 texts in the family group chat. Mom, Alexandra. You're the keynote speaker. Dad, is this real? Is this really happening? Aunt Carol, I told my friend's daughter to work at Costco and your daughter owns a $127 million company? Uncle Martin, I told her to get stability and a 401k. I'm never giving advice again. Jordan, I offered her an entry-level job at her own partner company. Cousin Maria, the live stream has 47,000 viewers and climbing. Alex is trending on LinkedIn. Mom again, why didn't you tell us? I pocketed my phone. Emily appeared in the doorway, mascara streaked down her face. Alex. Emily. That was, she stopped, composing herself. That was the most brilliant keynote I've ever seen. And the most humiliating moment of my life. I'm sorry you feel humiliated. No, you're not. And you shouldn't be. I deserved that. She wiped her eyes. I called you embarrassing. In front of everyone. While you were building this. You did. And I never once asked to see what you were actually doing. I just assumed, Her voice broke. I'm so sorry, Alex. Are you sorry because I succeeded? Or are you sorry because you treated me badly? He thought about it. Both. Is that honest enough? It's a start. I've been texting the team. Everyone wants to know how I didn't know my own sister was our strategic partner's CEO. What did you tell them? The truth. That I was too busy being successful to notice you were too. A conference attendee rushed up. Ms. Rivera, that keynote was incredible. We'd love to discuss implementing Neural Edge at our company. I spent the next 3 hours at our booth taking meetings, signing preliminary partnership agreements, collecting business cards. Emily watched from a distance, fielding questions from TechBridge employees about how she'd landed such an incredible partnership. To her credit, she told them the truth. I didn't land it. Our procurement team did. I had no idea my sister owned the company until an hour ago. That evening, I returned to my hotel suite. Marcus and Linda joined me for a debrief. Boss, we signed 14 new partnership letters of intent today, Linda said, grinning. That keynote was a masterclass. The livestream hit 340,000 views, Marcus added. You're all over tech Twitter. People are calling it the most inspiring keynote of the year. My phone rang. I answered. Hi, Mom. Alexandra Marie Rivera. Mom's voice was shaking. You own a company worth $127 million? Approximately. And you've been letting us think you were struggling for 6 years? You've been assuming I was struggling. I never said I was. Why didn't you tell us? I sat down, suddenly exhausted. Mom, when I told you I was starting a company, what did you say? Silence. You said, that's nice, honey, but maybe keep your job just in case. When I quit my job to do it full-time, Dad said I was being reckless. Emily called it playing entrepreneur. We were worried. No, Mom. You were embarrassed. There's a difference. You were embarrassed that I didn't have a fancy title like Emily. Embarrassed that you couldn't brag about my job at parties. Embarrassed that I didn't fit your definition of success. That's not fair. Mom, Emily told me to stop playing entrepreneur in front of 32 family members at Easter. You said nothing. Dad said nothing. Everyone agreed I was wasting my life. More silence. So I decided to see who you all were when you thought I was failing. And Mom, you failed that test. All of you did. What do you want from us, Alex? Accountability. Real accountability. Not we were just worried. Not we were trying to help. I want you to acknowledge that you valued conventional success over supporting your daughter's dream. And then what? Then maybe we rebuild. But on my terms. With boundaries. With respect. Mom's voice was small. I'm so sorry, baby. I know, Mom. But sorry isn't enough. I need you to understand why what you did was wrong. I do understand. And I'm so proud of you. Your pride doesn't mean much to me right now, Mom. Because I know it's conditional. If my company had failed, you'd still think I was embarrassing. I heard her crying softly. I have to go, Mom. Give my love to Dad. I hung up. The next morning, Emily showed up at my hotel. How did you know which hotel? I asked, opening the door. You're the keynote speaker. They always put keynotes at the Fairmont. She held up 2 coffee cups. Peace offering? I let her in. We sat on the balcony overlooking Elliott Bay. I've been up all night, Emily said. Reading everything about Neural Edge. Every article, every interview, every case study. Alex, what you've built, it's extraordinary. Thank you. And I've been thinking about Easter. About all the times I dismissed you. She set down her coffee. I was jealous. I looked at her, surprised. Jealous. You took a risk I was too scared to take. You believed in yourself when no one else did. You built something from nothing. She laughed bitterly. I've been climbing the corporate ladder for 10 years, following every rule, doing everything right. And you made your own ladder. A better one. Emily. I'm not finished. I need to say this. She took a breath. I called you embarrassing because deep down I was embarrassed. Embarrassed that my little sister had more courage than me. Embarrassed that you were living your values while I was chasing titles and bonuses. Embarrassed that you didn't need validation from people like me. You're being too hard on yourself. No, I'm being honest. Finally. She looked at me. I spent 6 years convincing everyone you were failing because I needed to believe it. Because if you were succeeding, then what did that say about my choices? We sat in silence watching ferries cross the bay. I don't know how to fix this, Emily finally said. I don't know if I can. Do you want to? More than anything. But not because you're successful now. Because I miss my sister. The real one. The one who believed in impossible things and made them happen. She's still here. Is she? After everything I said, after how I treated you, Alex, I wouldn't forgive me. Good thing it's not up to you then. She laughed, tears in her eyes. Can I ask you something? Sure. When did you know you'd succeed? I thought about it. The moment I stopped needing you to believe I would. Success became inevitable when I stopped measuring it by your standards. God, I really was terrible, wasn't I? You were human. Flawed. Feared. Like everyone else. But you weren't scared. Oh, I was terrified. Every single day. But I was more afraid of becoming someone who gave up their dreams to make other people comfortable. Emily nodded slowly. That's exactly what I did, isn't it? Gave up my dreams for comfort. Did you have dreams? Once. I wanted to start a sustainable fashion company. Design clothes that didn't destroy the planet. She laughed. But Mom and Dad said fashion was too risky. So I got an MBA and a safe corporate job instead. It's not too late. I'm 35 years old, Alex. I have a mortgage, car payments, responsibilities. I started at 32 with credit card debt and a dream. You're 3 years older with actual resources and business experience. The only thing stopping you is fear. She stared at me. Are you seriously giving me entrepreneurship advice right now? After I spent years telling you to get a real job. I'm giving my sister advice. That's different. Emily started crying again. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you're stuck with me anyway. Over the next 2 weeks, the fallout continued. The family group chat imploded with apologies, justifications, and shocked reactions. Uncle Martin admitted he'd been catastrophically wrong. Aunt Carol sent a 5-page email apologizing for comparing me to her friend's daughter who worked at Costco. Jordan sent a formal apology and asked if he could transfer to Neural Edge. I declined. He needed to learn at TechBridge first. Dad called and cried. Actual tears. I told my daughter to be realistic when she was building a $127 million company. I'm the world's worst father. You're not the worst, I said. Just misguided. Can I take you to dinner? Please? I need to understand what I missed. We had dinner the following week. He asked genuine questions. What problems was I solving? How did the technology work? What was my vision for the company? For the first time in 6 years he saw me. Really saw me. Mom took longer. She was embarrassed, truly embarrassed, about how she treated me. She started reading books about supporting unconventional success. She joined a parenting group for parents of entrepreneurs. I'm trying to understand, she said when she finally called. Why you needed to test us. Why you couldn't just tell us. Because telling you wouldn't have shown me who you were. Actions show character. Words just show intention. And what did our actions show you? That your love was conditional. That your support depended on conventional markers of success. That you valued appearances over substance. That's harsh. That's honest. She was quiet for a long moment. You're right. And I'm sorry. Really, truly sorry. I know, Mom. Can you forgive me? I'm working on it. 3 months later, Emily quit her job at TechBridge. She called me from her car, voice shaking with equal parts terror and excitement. I did it. I gave my notice. I'm starting my sustainable fashion company. Emily, that's incredible. I'm terrified. Good. That means it matters. Will you, she paused. Will you give me advice? Not money, not connections, just advice? As someone who's done this. Of course. Even after everything? Especially after everything. You're my sister. And honestly, I think you're going to build something amazing. He started crying. Thank you. For not giving up on me even when I gave up on you. That's what family is supposed to do. 6 months after the conference, Neural Edge hit $180 million in annual revenue. We expanded to 520 employees. Forbes featured us again, this time on the cover. The AI revolution you didn't see coming. I agreed to the interview this time. The journalist asked about my family. About the 6 years of silence. I tested them, I said simply. They failed. But failure isn't final. They're doing the work now. Real work. Examining their biases, confronting their assumptions, learning to support unconventional paths. And have they changed? Some have. Some haven't. But I've changed too. I don't need their validation anymore. I built Neural because it mattered, not to prove anyone wrong. What would you say to your sister now? The one who called you embarrassing? I smiled. I'd say thank you. Because she taught me that the only opinion that matters is my own. And that's the most valuable lesson an entrepreneur can learn. The article published with that quote as the pullout. Emily texted me, I deserved that. But also you're welcome. And I love you. I texted back, love you too, sis. Neural crossed $300 million in revenue. We opened offices in London, Singapore, and Austin. My team grew to 890 people. TechBridge renewed our partnership for another 3 years at $47 million. Emily launched EcoThread, her sustainable fashion company. I became her first investor. Not because she was my sister, but because her business plan was brilliant. She had 15 employees and was already profitable. I finally get it, she told me over coffee one morning. The terror. The exhilaration. The absolute certainty that you're either building something world-changing or wasting your life. Welcome to entrepreneurship. I'm sorry I called it playing entrepreneur. I'm not. You gave me the best origin story. Sister called so embarrassing, lived to regret it. She laughed. You're never letting me live that down, are you? Never. Mom and Dad came to Neuraledge's office for the first time. They walked through our floor, meeting my team, seeing the technology we'd built. Mom cried when she saw the wall of patents with my name on them. I'm so sorry I didn't see this sooner, she whispered. You see it now. That's what matters. Dad asked intelligent questions about our AI architecture. He'd been reading everything he could find about machine learning. I want to understand your world, he explained. Even if I'm 6 years late. Better late than never. The family dynamics shifted. Emily and I became collaborators, not competitors. Mom and Dad became genuinely curious about unconventional success. The rest of the family stopped offering unsolicited career advice and started asking genuine questions. But the biggest change? I stopped testing them. I'd learned what I needed to learn. I knew my worth. I knew my strength. I knew what I'd built and why it mattered. Their validation was nice. But it wasn't necessary. And that, more than any revenue milestone or Forbes cover or conference keynote, that was the real success.